Hi, and welcome to Sustainability Explored, a podcast on sustainability and innovations in business and economy, a safe and friendly place to learn more about sustainability practices across industries. My name is Anna, and I'm the usual podcast host of this show. Every week, I invite one professional in the field to share ideas on sustainability in certain sphere, shed light on different concepts, and give some guidance on how to actually implement sustainability. You're listening to the episode number 28. This is season 3. Today we're talking about sustainable business models with Anna Itkin, co-founder, managing director and consultant at the Inceptery, a Singapore-based consultancy offering sustainability-driven innovation, where sustainability, triple bottom line, conscious capitalism take into account the full cost involved in doing business. I am very excited and curious to talk to and to learn from Anna today, and hope you're too. If so, join our upcoming discussion and let's get it started. Hi Anna, nice that you have accepted my podcast invitation. I'm very pleased to have you on the Sustainability Explored FM. First of all, could you please introduce yourself for the listeners a little bit more? I know that you hold a PhD in chemistry and biochemistry, right? What got you into sustainability and what drives you to work in this field today?
Thank you, Anna, for having me and inviting me to do the podcast. Yes, I have a PhD in chemistry and biophysics. And I've been in academia and scientific research for almost 2 decades. But sustainability was always part of my life because the place where I was born and grew up, the life was quite frugal. And I started also contemplating about the social aspects of our lives, societies and well-being, inequality, all of these things. And slowly I grew anxious about the state of affairs in the world. And in some days I really found myself not being able to function, to do my job, because I was so concerned and felt so helpless to do anything about it. And one day I had a conversation with a good friend who kind of transitioned from pure business activities into sustainability, and he shared this amazing work he's doing about in supply chains, and it was a eureka moment for me. And I thought to myself, oh my God, I totally want to do what you're doing. And there it was, kind of this realization that this is the way I want to, I can, and I want to help make the world a better place. That's
Right.
maybe naive, but that's how it is for me. And so I started taking courses and learning from everyone and everything I could put my hands on about sustainability and business sustainability, what it actually means. And in 2016, so there's a journey, and then in 2016 I met 2 incredible visionary women who invited me to join them in starting a sustainability practice, let's say, for a better future, and with a great vision. And here we are today.
So what exactly are you doing today? I know that you were sitting in Singapore and you are the founder, co-founder and the consultant at the Inceptory. So what exactly do you do there? What's the focus mission of this, shall I say consultancy or a company or a startup? Tell me more about this.
It's a little bit of all of these and more. So we kind of discovered that words matter, and we prefer a practice. So the Inceptory is a practice, let's say, that it was set up to facilitate transformation towards flourishing world. And it is about partnering with others, whether these are practitioners, specialists, and enterprises, to implement sustainable and restorative strategies in organizations for better business and more better and more equitable life for all. And our mission is to challenge, inspire, lead, and support organizations to connect their business activities and practices to sustainably integrate them as core principles with the societal and environmental aspects in such a way that they remain profitable and even maybe hopefully become more profitable, and which defines and this defines what business model innovation is all about, embedding sustainability into business purpose and processes that drives enterprise innovation and serves as a key for competitive advantage.
I only often hear that sustainable business management and sustainable business models integrate in sustainability is usually like people and companies refer to it, it's an addition, it's a luxury thing to have, it's only for our reputation, we're doing just fine, it's costly. While for me, for example, I think it is meant to reduce costs. What do you think about that? The clients that come to you, what are they looking for? Is it really costly? How big is the first investment then?
I think the thinking that it's a luxury thing and it's very costly, it's a result of, or maybe it's just a PR stance, it's the result of misunderstanding, misusing and misrepresenting sustainability, which results in mistrust towards corporations, and not only from customers, but even from other, usually smaller companies. Someone recently told me, a company owner who said, for me, CSR equals PR. And approaches to addressing sustainability vary. Corporations with large budgets, they can afford to invest a lot into sustainable business management, but this is not a prerequisite to incorporating sustainability into business. And I think companies have a choice. They can view sustainability as a cost and a luxury and do nothing about it if they say, well, we don't have these resources, or they can see it as an investment in sustainable development opportunity space. And for example, when a company invests in R&D, it's an investment. It's not a cost, and it's investment in long-term success because it's a path to new product development, which will result in profits. So investing in sustainability can be viewed in the same way. And it's already proven that such investments result in very tangible benefits. Like you said, it improves value chain and stakeholder management, improves reputation and brand name, fosters resilience, such as the ability to survive system shocks as climate events and pandemics like we have today, increase resource efficiency, that's saving costs from water, energy usage, and waste reduction or elimination. Helps to anticipate regulation, making adaptation easier and avoiding fines and penalties. It helps to support recruitment and retention of talent, particularly with younger generations that are our tomorrow's clients, customers, and maybe CEOs. It also helps to increase revenue from growth of existing markets or creation of new markets. How big should the primary investment be? I actually want to say very big. But I'm not referring to money, because I see it as an investment in the future, and it requires visionary and authentic leadership. It requires to take a stand for something bigger than oneself and just short-term goals. It's risky and uncomfortable. It requires to love uncertainties. I love to give Paul Polman as an example, who is a legendary CEO of Unilever. In January 2009, he assumed the position of CEO, and he immediately put his shareholders on notice. He declared that they should no longer expect to see quarterly annual reports from the company, along with earnings guidance for the stock market. Unilever, he said, was now taking a longer view, and he went even further, urging shareholders to put their money somewhere else if they don't buy into this long-term value creation model, which is equitable, which is shared and sustainable.
Wow. You mentioned younger generations, retention of talents or acquisition of new talents. That actually made me think that I came across a study, can't remember who, Deloitte, I think, a year ago, that 70% of millennials do care about sustainability practices and simply will not buy it from the companies or go working for the companies that don't take any actions. And that's something I see from my peers. Oh no, like this company, I don't want my name to be associated with that place. And that's an interesting thing that is, happening now in the society. uh, Not only money matters anymore. That's my observation. Okay, what kind of clients come to you? Are they services to the Inceptory? I mean, are they mostly services or physical products? And what are they looking for when they seek for your help?
Well, I want to start by saying that our doors are open to all who are willing to explore what's possible through partnering for business model innovation. And these could be startups, SMEs, large corporations, as well as educational institutions and startup accelerators. And our ideal client is an organization that is already convinced that sustainability holds a wealth of opportunities for value creation, and one that also knows that holistic and transformative approach to sustainability is the only way forward to achieve global goals within planetary boundaries. Now, this is our aspirational state, but as with everything in life, we and our partners start with first step, whatever that might be for them. And often it includes just understanding what sustainability is and what is the way forward for them. So when we incorporated in Singapore 4 years ago, sustainability was in its infancy. And in 2017, Singapore Stock Exchange introduced mandatory reporting for listed companies, and many only started to become aware of sustainable development goals. So we worked with some organizations to identify their material issues and to engage with broader group of their stakeholders. We also worked with entrepreneur to map business model opportunities for a land development project. And together with different partners, we've developed a business model for returnable food containers for Singapore's food takeaway scene, which is very large. We also run workshops on what does it mean to rethink sustainability. And we continuously innovate ourselves and our offerings to empower others to reach towards new horizons and what's possible in creating a responsible and sustainable business and economy. So it's a really large scope of activities that start with education, empowerment, developing the vision, the mission, the North Star for organizations, as well as their strategies, and then product innovation.
Usually the companies that come to you, if there are, like, I don't know, 2-3 things that they want to do, what shall it be? Is it a strategy, or they want to fix minor things? What do you notice? What are your observations?
As I said, I mean, we did not have our ideal client coming to us yet. Although from the end towards the second half of last year and this year, we really see more interest and more holistic approach to sustainability. Generally, sustainability seen in Singapore until then was about reporting. Just do report for me, and because I have to do it. So this is a downside of mandatory. Some companies just say, well, we'll just pay someone to do it, and that's it. They don't see the value that it can bring them, or as a framework. So these were mostly the requests and these kind of jobs that sustainability consultants did in the past few years. We also had some requests for PR, to provide PR.
Which is CSR.
Well, not kind of, yeah, through this angle. As a company, I don't want to be too specific, but there's a small company, did a great job and provided high value services, but they wanted to do more for their clients, and they asked us if we can kind of provide PR twist as if this is a CSR, because they're using these services, and we actually refused because we did not want to engage in these activities. And it is important for us to be aligned, that our values align with the potential client. It is not just for the sake of box ticking and revenue.
Yeah, that's very cool that you should mention it. Being true to yourself. Do you have any exclusion list, sort of, like companies that you will never help unless, I don't know, asteroid hits the earth?
I wouldn't say exclusion parameters. No, I think what's important, as I said, it's alignment of values. That's very important for us. And it is not about what they're doing today or did in the past, but whether their intention towards implementing sustainability strategically is genuine, and or is it a window dressing PR exercise?
Yeah. Right. Here is the question I have. That's something I still don't get after reading and researching on the topic. How is sustainable business model different from a traditional business model? What are its key components, if I should phrase it like that?
Okay. So I would like to start just by saying what business model is, and its initial kind of modern definition was it's a story how enterprise works. And in 2010, a business model was defined by Alexander Osterwalder and Yves Pigneux as the rationale of how an organization creates, delivers, and captures value. And I think this is a crucial point in what business models are about. And this definition is built on a broad underlying theory that represents companies' interactions with its value chain in order to fulfill its existing business strategy. They put together a business model canvas which lays out and connects assumptions about key resources and activities of the value chain, value proposition, and value creation. And it does it through 9 building blocks. In the center, there is value proposition, and on the left, there are key partners, key activities, and key resources, so the inputs that go into the value creation. And then on the right side, output, so who are the customers, what are the relationships, distribution channels, etc., and then cost and revenue streams. So if we go back to the value creation, so from this perspective, business models traditionally focused on satisfying the customer needs, economic return to shareholders, compliance, regulation or legislation requirements, and long-term economic viability of the firm. Now, sustainable business models, however, they widen the notion of value creation and include environmental and social value. And to give you an example, environmental value creation covers sustainable use of natural resources, biodiversity conservation, avoidance of waste and pollution, regeneration of ecological services such as natural climate regulating systems, pollination, and soil fertility. And for social value creation, we are concerned with issues such as all stakeholder inclusion and participation in decision making, responsibility, labor standards, human rights, community relations, welfare, culture, poverty alleviation, and equal opportunity to access resources. Everything that other stakeholders are concerned about. So essentially, a sustainable business model incorporate triple bottom line approach and consider wide range of stakeholder interests. So I hope this is clear.
Yeah. The sustainable business model is definitely the one of the future, and it's the one that will prevail in the long run. And if the sooner you implement it, the better for you as a company. So why is not everyone kind of getting it? Why is not everyone implementing it? I guess because they don't not everyone understands the value yet. Do you think there are any other reasons?
Yes, I think absolutely sustainability is widely misunderstood.
Mm-hmm.
And in its core, it's a very broad and complex topic to begin with. And I think human mind had been trained to reduce complexity to simple chunks in order to be able to deal with it. And such reductionist approach has its benefits in some situations. However, for complex systems such as our world, um, fragmentation and reductionism are merely simple fixes that fail to solve problems and usually create other problems in the long term.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like Peter Senge, who's an American systems scientist. He once said, "Today's problems are yesterday's solutions."
Mm-hmm.
So before any solution, we must first see that we are the problem and use a different kind of thinking that we use in creating these problems. And so we need to develop and practice systems thinking to be able to look at sustainability with the eyes that we need to be looking at it. And I find that sustainable development goals actually set an ambitious agenda that implies a shift from incremental to exponential mindsets and ambitions, from our current focus on the negative impacts of economic activity to the deliberate generation of positive impacts. So, in order to address sustainability with all its complexity, a paradigm shift needs to happen, and that is not an easy undertaking. So.
Yeah, when I looked at your profile and I saw that you graduated with chemistry and biochemistry PhD degree, and you also studied that during your bachelor times, and now you mentioned system thinking. Sustainability always looked to me as something humanitarian, so slash creative industry. Now, the more I go, the more I get the sense of sustainability as of a more like precise science. And I think it's on the people like you, with those who have system thinking, those who have been trained in biology, in physics, those who know the basic laws of nature, how they work, to implement sustainability. Because it's true, there is a lot of buzz around, there is a lot of greenwashing, there are a lot of big words, CSR, I don't know, UN sustainable development goals, and people just throw it around carelessly without taking this exact system approach. That creates a lot of confusion and misinterpretation of facts. Now, obviously, as everybody else, the whole world is going through corona crisis. Given the economic crisis generated by the pandemic, what can we expect, according to you, in the field of business sustainability? A new breath or like a serious rollback? I already see that one of the US states called back the legislation on banning single-use plastic. Where are we going? Are we going backwards, or do you think after all this madness is done and gone, we can see the shift towards sustainability?
Oh, I wish I had a crystal ball to tell you how
Yeah.
is it going to be. um, I do know that if you listen to analysts, the future is gray from the economic perspective. Of course, the current pandemic is a first human tragedy on scale, and I think it also exposed the breaking points of our systems, of global supply chains, of healthcare systems, political systems, and global economy at large. And there's no doubt the impacts will be felt long and far on jobs and economic growth, or rather stagnation. Many businesses that have to close down because they just can't do business. I believe this is there's also a choice that we can make. We can combine all our efforts and finances into restoring systems that have been just proven to be not fit for our needs and purposes,
Right.
or like some are calling, or we can choose to create a different reality and a new future. I mean, we take for what there is about the pandemic. It is what it is. Now, what are we going to do about it? And we can, and I think we must try to create a different reality. All these systems are our creation, and I think we can create better.
Beautiful words. Thank you. Thank you so much for the positive view on the future. Hopefully, yes, hopefully we will get out of this transformed and in a more mindful way. You mentioned triple bottom line, so inclusion of economic, social, and environmental needs and concerns of everyone.
Yes.
Would you like to share one piece of advice for the listeners of Sustainability Explored podcast as my one and last question to you?
I choose to be optimistic. I would like to invite everyone to be inquisitive or remain inquisitive, that you were, if you were like that. Question assumptions, develop love of learning, and practice systems thinking every day. And don't be afraid to be visionary and stay optimistic.
Okay, one last question. How to practice system thinking?
Well, first, we can learn about it. I mean, there's a lot of information online and free. There are courses that one can take. For example, Acumen Plus offers some courses and practicing systems thinking. Particularly, they focus particularly on social aspects, but again, there's a lot out there. For example, a book by Peter Senge, and I can share later a list of some books that
yes, please.
can be really really good. I mean, even start with the book by Donella Meadows, Limits to Growth. This book was published 30 years ago, and now there's new edition 30 years later. So yeah, even that long ago, it's been already very clear that
right. This one I read about planetary boundaries.
Right. But it's all one big system connected, and to practice system thinking is really first to understand what systems are. It's they're dynamic and all parts are connected. So you just take an article in newspaper and start mapping what the system around that topic is. And
wow, brilliant advice. Thank you very much for your time, for sharing your wisdom, and for your work that you do in sustainability.
Thank you. Same here. Yeah, you too. Have a great day and stay healthy.
Thanks. Ciao, ciao.
Bye-bye.
I honestly do hope that you enjoyed this episode and learned something new from our guest Anna today. Maybe you got inspired or even motivated. That will make me very happy if it is the case. If you have any questions, do let me know. Please reach out on LinkedIn. I also invite you to check other related episodes out. Anna has mentioned corporate social responsibility, that is not PR. Extensively, I discussed corporate social responsibility in the episode called Corporate Social Responsibility, Where Is It Going? Anna also has mentioned reporting, right? So sustainability reporting, there is an episode for that called Sustainability Reporting Transparency is Always Appreciated, where for half an hour I explain what it is and how to work with that. Also corporate sustainability. For that I have an episode called Corporate Sustainability, a New Norm, and how to work with and engage with stakeholders, especially in the green organization. That was done already in the episode named Sustainability Reporting, Transparency is Always Appreciated. If you like the podcast, don't forget to subscribe, share, review, and rate on the platform you're listening on. We are now available on almost 40 platforms, or more than 40 platforms by now. And by the way, Podchaser just sent an email that they are donating 25 cents to Meals on Wheels, America's COVID-19 Response Fund, for every podcast or episode review on Podchaser for the next 15 days. And they will double it every time a podcast replies to the review. So if you go to Podchaser, I don't know if you will have to register, even though it's a very quick process. Find Sustainability Explorer there, leave a review, whatever it might be, positive, negative, critique, I welcome all. I will reply to that, and together like that we can donate 50 cents to those in need. I think it's a brilliant and easy way to help those in need, regardless of where in the world we actually are. So let's take this opportunity. Thank you for listening, for being with us today, and until next time, take care, stay tuned, and stay sustainable, and most importantly, until the quarantine is over, stay home. Be safe. Ciao, ciao.